Good morning, traders. This is Shogun Chat 247. I train traders how to trade in harmony with the market. Today is the 26th of November 2024. What a week we've had so far. Today is Tuesday, and towards the end of last week, the price, most of the pairs have they formed a pattern, and this week we can see the follow through at the beginning of the week, even yesterday and this morning we saw huge moves already in the Japanese yen pairs. So what I want to show you quickly is the weekly trade planning session we did. And so basically the picture looks like this. The JPY dollar very strong, but dollar and is losing the power slightly, but is still the strongest on our portfolio selection. And the euro is currently one of the weakest, but watch out for the euro against the US dollar. So card, this is card today has been sold very strongly. So I'm going to get to that on the when we look at the chart. And then we have the Aussie, which is one of the weakest pair as well. So basically our portfolio look like this: euro against the want to sell euro against the dollar, against the New Zealand against the dollar, pound against the dollar, Aussie against the dollar. Then the yen, basically we can sell anything against the yen as long as the dollar yen is going down. Then the card, this one we have to be careful because this card has been sold strongly, and so we all preferred my preferred action would be a valid counter when a wave structure has completed. That's the way to do it. Okay, so let's look at the pairs. So the first one I'm going to look at today is the Euro US dollar. We have interest in the Euro US dollar today to sell. We have seen the retest. Let me hide some of these lines, too much lines on the chart. Yeah, we can hide that one. There you go. So we on the smaller time frame, we've already seen a breakdown, and this is just the retest of the breakdown. I will prefer to see the price failing above the 2 daily high here. That will be more technical sell for us. What I mean by that is if price should come above the 104.98 and fail, that would be a better sell for a move to the downside. That is the Euro US dollar. The next one I'm going to look at is the pound dollar. I started selling the pound yesterday, and this thing is still going to continue because we saw the gap. They closed the gap and they tested it first, pull back, and they smash it during the Tokyo session today. Expect the second leg of the pullback. So we've seen the 0A, B. We need to see the C failing 0. I'm trying to count the wave now. 0. Okay, this is the 4. This may continue lower from where it is right now, but we have the better reference is the 3 daily low here, which is the 125.76. If price gets there and fail, that will be technical because that will now give us a lower higher high. Then we can look to short for a continuation of this move to the downside. We've seen a change of character here. We've seen a breakdown, pullback, breakdown. So we've seen lower I1, lower I2. This lower I2, don't try to short here. I would prefer a deeper manipulation before we short the pound US dollar. The next one I'm going to be looking at is the US dollar Japanese yen. This is very interesting actually. You can see even the card yen, the pound yen, all those yen pairs were sold vigorously. The dollar yen remained intact. Look at that. The dollar yen is trading in a range since last week. Even after the breakdown, they corrected it. pull down, failed to make a lower low, corrected it, made a lower low, but with a pin, they corrected it. When the dollar breaks down, we have the FOMC news today. Okay, the break is going to be very strong. Okay, so we have to watch out for that. All right. So the dollar yen, I will not trade the dollar yen. I will use the dollar yen as an indicator for other yen pairs, something like the card yen, which I'm going to show us next, or the euro yen or the pound yen. Once the dollar yen is ticking down a little bit, those other pairs, other yen pairs will be sliding faster than the dollar yen, if you understand what I'm saying. So I'm trying not to get involved in this tussle that is going on. We got caught up in the card yen towards the end of last week, but eventually it paid. Look at that. That's the patience. It took a while. This was excuse me, for those that watch the post that I think the post I did on, I can't remember now, towards the end of last week. We were expecting this thing to break down, but they held the price. You can still see all the lines are still on the chart. But we follow what we see, not what we think. And what we saw was we had a momentum low there, and they keep breaking it and failing, breaking it and failing. And they didn't knock us out of the trade because the stop loss was there. And yesterday we saw the first break followed by a test. Then this morning we've seen a continuation break, and that is it. Okay, this is a momentum low. We said kiss the baby goodbye. That is the word we use when there's a complete breakdown in price. Okay, and we have, let me see the timing on 107.99, which is just above this level. We have 107.80. That's a weekly structure. 107.51 is a weekly structure. So 107.99, that one there, we have to watch out for that level there. It is a critical level on the 4-hour chart, and we have to keep an eye on it if price gets to that level. Okay, so in terms of the picture, the dollar is still fairly strong. Okay, the pairs are struggling to gain upper hand against the dollar. Maybe they are waiting for the FOMC release today just to see what the Fed is going to, if there's any change from the last meeting. I don't know. To be honest, I trade price. We try to take all those economic release with a grain of salt. I like to stay flat before the news. And sometimes we just, depending on what we do, depending on what is going on, we can stay in the trade even during those time as well. But the dollar is still very strong. The yen is gaining strength. So keep an eye on that. I will not personally trade the dollar yen where we are right now. I need to see a complete breakdown in the dollar yen before I can get involved in it. But I can use the dollar yen as an indicator to trade other pairs against the yen. Okay, so that is a quick one this morning. If you like what you see, give us a thumbs up. My name is Shogun Chat 247, and I hope to see you in the next video. God bless.